Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. That means you're hanging out with us today, and we really appreciate that, spending your fall days with Tom and Steve. Have you noticed leaves changing?
Well, I was up to, we had a weekend, like a men's retreat from church up at Speculator.
Yeah, that's way up there.
Last weekend. And
How long did it take you?
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Not bad.
But that would be, okay, yes, that's how long it would have taken. But I had to stop and fish a few places, so it did extend the journey a little bit. But it was the same. But it was really.
Did you catch anything?
I caught a couple little brown trout on the way back. Nothing. They were pretty. They were little. They were native, and there wasn't enough there to make half of a sandwich. So it wasn't like I was. And I just said, okay, here, go back and maybe grow up. Go to your family.
Yeah. So are you more spiritually enlightened at this point, or?
You know what? God is good. Most of the time, I'm really glad because I don't cut the grade, but
right.
But when I trust Christ, He accepts me as I am, and you know what? And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, he's the only one.
It was good, fair. But it was great hanging out with men, and just encouraging others because we men, we don't share. Things like that.
Right.
Yes. How you doing? Great. What's new? Great.
But this was men of faith.
Yeah,
right?
and,
men of faith all together.
Yeah, so it was good. But the colors were starting to change.
Yes,
it was a beautiful ride. It was a little cloudy and kind of danky, but it made me want to go up there again.
Sure. I haven't been up there yet this year, and we usually like to take an Old Forge trip and go up there and visit the shops and things like that. Well, it's our pleasure once again to bring on Matt Mazur. He's the founder of Your Local IT Department, a local tech expert. How are you, Matt?
Doing well. Thanks for having me back, guys.
It's great to see you again. Are you still doing your show, your podcast, or your?
That's a great question. My assistant and I were talking about that just yesterday. The short answer to that is yes. So we've been planning that. I actually just sort of remodeled our podcast studio at the office. It's now more of a couch studio.
Yeah.
Which is something I've always wanted to do and never really set up. So, yes, coming soon. We will be doing more of that type of thing.
Well, that's where you can dive into specific topics and get real deep,
Yeah. That's, nice. We can, generally what I did before is I would bring in a business owner and we'd kind of talk about them and then we get into a little bit of tech and, let people expand beyond a 30-second pitch and have a good conversation.
Okay, I'm going to ask a serious question here.
Yes, go ahead.
When you go deep in technology, does the average person, do their eyes just cross and they say, man, can you just fix it? Because it doesn't work. Or do they really want to know all that stuff?
Completely depends on the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually a solid mix of that. And I get that. Or sometimes it starts with, I want to know everything. And then it's like, yeah, just do it.
Tell me. Okay.
And, I'm happy to support both scenarios. So that's kind of what we do. One of the things that I think has always been one of my skills is I'm very good at translating nerd to English. And vice versa.
Which is important in your business, right?
It really is. I can have a conversation with folks and try to, break things down in terms that make sense rather than just trying to bamboozle them with technical terms.
Yeah. So when you're working with a company, and maybe they got a dozen employees, maybe they got 50 employees, whatever, they have all these systems. There's all kinds of stuff that people must do wrong to break it. Is that fair? I mean, you're just asking for 50, cooks in the kitchen. How do you prevent that, or can't you?
Well, a lot of it is planning from the beginning, right? Because like you said, you got 50 systems. The reality is maybe a dozen could do the same tasks of all these different ones. So with the right planning and utilizing the most of various pieces, getting them to talk to each other so you don't have, 3 and 4 systems that kind of duplicate the same information and same input and things of this nature, you can streamline it and make things a lot less possibility for things to break to begin with. And then, you couple that with some training. If people actually know how things are supposed to work and the best way to go about it, It makes for a better experience for all.
Tom accepts the phishing email and says, hey, look, there's a French prince in Bogota that wants to send me money and replies to it. Doesn't that open up the whole server so everybody gets contaminated?
To some degree. So there's all kinds of tools that are in place to mitigate that. So in the worst case scenario, if that were to happen, it doesn't turn into a whole huge outbreak.
Yeah, right.
But we put in more and more different kind of filters and things of that nature to prevent that. And they do a good job, but the bad guys work full time on breaking through. So
IT, meaning information technology, has evolved over the years.
Absolutely.
So right now, what do your services encompass? We're talking a little bit about security, but what else do you do?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we are your local IT department, meaning we are a company's, or can be a company's, entire IT department. So it's almost anything technical. So we're talking about fixing the computers, setting up the networks, managing the Wi-Fi, and then getting into the cybersecurity stuff that is now a requirement, whether we want to or not.
Yeah.
It's so very important. And those are the types of things that we combine with, all of the traditional, I guess you would say, sort of IT services and try to give a full picture. And help folks with anything that they might need, and give them one point of contact. And that's the thing. Even when we have other vendors, we manage a lot of third-party vendors for our clients. So client still has one point of contact, us, and we get it done. Whether that means we call in, Toshiba to help with the copier, or things of that nature.
Sure.
That's where we're at.
Before we were going on the air here, I had asked you, who hires you? And I think it's important that the people listening right now, if they're of the people that you're going to mention right now, they should give you a call. So who would it be?
I mean, executives. Anybody that, knows they have a need, they need, some IT help, but also people that just want to make their business better. You want to make things a little more efficient, a little more automated, maybe increase your margins without pressing your people a little more.
Yeah.
Technology is the way to do all of that. So, whether you're a CEO or a CFO, depends on your organization, obviously. But in many cases, we also work with companies that have IT teams, and the IT manager or the CIO will often reach out to us for.
Wouldn't they be
some
threatened? Now, here's this outside company. Here's these guys telling us what to do. If I'm that individual, don't I feel like, well, he's doing my job, whether he's going to take my job?
Not at all. These guys have a mountain of work to do, and to bring in a crew with a bucket loader to help is it might be the worst analogy I've ever made, but they are happy to get the help for the workload. And in all honesty, they're not threatened at all. Get this done, and we all look better, and that's generally the mindset that the ones that come to us. I guess you could be in some scenarios threatened, but that's usually not the folks that come to us.
How do you keep up with the latest technology? Like, do you have team meetings where, like, you say, hey, we're going to talk about this latest AI tool or something like that?
Absolutely. I mean, it's never ending. So we do regular development with our own teams to bring things up to speed. And there's so many of these new tools, that are evolving so rapidly that we have to do that because they're making them available to the customers, and the customers are saying, hey, we want to use this AI thing. We got to know how to do that, how to offer that to them. So that's a big part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. We just had a team meeting the other day, and Steve had to step out. Thank goodness.
It always goes better when I leave.
I was talking to the rest of the team, and we were talking about this Chat GPT and how it can help. And I said, hey, I wrote a paragraph, and then it took my paragraph and made it sound infinitely better.
Yeah.
And I said, we should be using this in various, there's ways to use it.
They just announced now it can see, hear, and speak to you.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that. See?
Yes, this is a brand new thing. You can have a conversation with it. You could be walking around with your phone, and you could be walking in the woods and take a picture of a tree and go, hey, what is this tree? And
right.
It can give you that input like it's there with you.
Wow. So if folks have an IT, if they have computers, they own a business, they got some employees, you're a problem solver, and the people that you have, so they can connect with you. Is 333-0999 a decent number?
That is a great number.
So there's a lot of threes, 333 and 0 and a 999. Your local IT department, is that?
That's it.
Did I get that right? .com?
Yes.
And they can ask questions and find out how it works, right?
Absolutely. Give us a call, shoot us a text at that phone number.
And if it's broken, you can fix it.
or replace it.
There we go.
Thank you very much, Matt, and you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Okay, coming up next, Brian Dumond, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.